Hey, everybody. Welcome back. It's your boy, Sean McLaughlin at Options Sean on Twitter X. Today is Thursday, June 19, 2025, and it's a strange day. The stock market's closed. I'm always the last person to know about any of these weird holidays. I forgot. I didn't even know until maybe Tuesday that we didn't have the market open today. So, um, that doesn't change what we're going to do here. We're going to review action within the portfolio of trades that we do here at All Star Options. We've had a couple of exits, a couple of nice exits this week. We're going to update a bunch of stops on positions that are going our way, which is great. And we're going to review a couple of trades we've put on since we spoke last week. But before I get into any of that, I have to drop the old disclaimer that everything we discuss here is for educational purposes only. I'm showing you what I'm doing with my money, and I hope that you are learning something from seeing me follow my process. Okay. All right, so let's start like we always do at the high level here with the S&P 500. This is the SPY ETF. We are getting further and further away from that ominous death cross that made a lot of headlines back in mid-April. The S&P has been consolidating just below all-time highs, just a stone's throw away. We could certainly get there in 1 week. We could even get there in 1 day, depending on the type of news we get. And it's not surprising that the S&P has just kind of churned sideways a little bit here over the last week. We're doing it right below all-time highs, which is a natural place for any people who perceive themselves to be bag holders who bought stocks or bought the index near all-time highs back in February. They're happy to get out close to even right now, and they're probably in the process of doing that as we speak, and that's weighing on the market. Of course, the elephant in the room is geopolitical concerns. That is weighing heavily on the minds of a lot of investors. So certainly that's holding things back. So none of this is a surprise, right? The S&P hanging here. We could bring up the Qs. It'll be a similar story. The Qs just below all-time highs, hitting some resistance there. I think this is very constructive trade action, right? The fact that we have not really sold off at all, considering all the headline news we've had over the last week, I think this is very bullish. When are we going to break out? I don't know. I think it happens before July 4th. Call me patriotic, but I have a feeling we're going to hit new all-time highs just in time for the July 4th holiday. I said that on Yahoo Finance last week. We'll see. I could be right. I could be wrong. But that's what I'm thinking. And lastly, let's pull up the VIX real quick to get a quick reading on what if anything VIX is saying to us. For some reason, VIX always comes up kind of slow. And we had a little bit of pop early last week, no surprise. But was that a dramatic pop? No, no, not at all. I mean, VIX ended the week or closed Wednesday, sorry, yesterday with a 20 handle. That to me is not very alarming. I think the market whatever the reason you want to assign to it, the fact that there isn't a whole lot of fear in the market is good information. And to me, that's just adds further credence to the fact that I think that we're going to hit all-time highs pretty soon in US stocks. All right, let's get into some trades we recently closed or adjusted. Let's start with ASTS, the Space Mobile. This is a trade. We are along August 40 calls that we got into back in mid-May. We had a dubious start, but the thing has ripped starting basically June 1st. I mean, the beginning of June, this thing just started ripping. We had a plan in place to sell half of our calls if and when we broke 40. We did that. I believe this was on the 13th. Yes, on the 13th, we sold half of our position. We sold half of it for 680. So we've already locked in gains in this trade, which is fantastic, right? We can't lose. No matter what happens with our remaining calls, they could go to zero. We're still locked in with guaranteed profits in this trade, but we still have half of the position on, and you got to love the way this stock traded yesterday. This could turn into a big winner for us. So fingers crossed. I'm liking what I'm seeing here. The price action certainly is giving me no reason to feel any bearish thoughts on this at all. And anybody who's holding this stock short right now is feeling some pain. So we are out of half of our ASTS, but still riding the other half, locked in some guaranteed gains, which is nice. All right, next up is Cork or CRK, Comstock Resources. I wrote a blog post about this earlier in the week, or maybe it was yesterday, detailing the exit. It was yesterday, detailing the exit in this trade. We exited this trade according to our plan. We were long a September 22/30 bull call spread. That means we were long the 22 calls and we were short the 30 calls against it. And the plan was if we got to 30 while I was still holding the position, we would just take the profits and run, whatever those profits were. In this case, we were able to sell the spread for $5.40. Now, the most that spread could be worth, theoretically, is $8. $8 is the difference between the strikes, between the 22 strike that I was long and the 30 strike that I was short. So the most I could ever get for that spread would be $8. And the only way I'm going to get $8 is if CRK rips to 50 or $100 over the next couple of weeks, or I hold this thing all the way to September expiration. And the way I think about this is like, look, I could exit with a nice profit here at 540 without having to hold this thing for another 3 months, without giving the market any opportunity to pull back and take my gains away from me. From here, I can only make an additional $2.60, which is meaningful profits, certainly, right? But I'm risking $5.40, which is what I could have closed it for yesterday. I'd be risking 540 to make an additional 260. I didn't like that math, especially because I have to hold it for another 3 months. So as I usually do when I'm holding a bull call spread, a vertical spread, once both options go in the money, which in this case they did, that's when I look to exit and I got out for 540. So great trade, right? We nearly tripled our money in, I don't know, we got into this thing in early April. So a couple of months, not bad, not bad. We'll take it. So that concludes the exits we had this week. Two very nice exits for us. Very good week for the portfolio overall. Let's update some stops, and this will drive home how good of a week this was for our portfolio. In no particular order here, we'll start at the top. Robinhood, we are long a January 70 100 bull call spread. That means we're long the 70 calls and we're short the 100 calls. We paid $6.25 for it. And the day we got in, this thing has just not looked back. So that's great. We're off to a great start. I'm raising my stop now to 62. I don't want to see a Robinhood get back below 62. If it does do that, that would not be a bullish development in my eyes, and I will look to exit the trade. But so far, so good on Hood. So far, so good in the Hood. Next up, Take Two. We've been this is a trade that we've been in for a while. We started it out as a call diagonal. We wanted to be long the August 250 calls, but we shorted the April 240 calls against it to lower our cost. Those calls expired worthless, which is great. So now all we have is the long August 250 calls. And I'm liking this price action. I wish it would kind of speed up a little bit because, we're starting to get into that phrase or that phase where we're starting to run out of time. I'd love to see this thing get north of 270 over the next couple of weeks, but I'm raising my stop to 220. I don't want to see Take Two get below. Sorry, it's 222. Take Two, 222. That's the stop. All right. Don't want to see it get back below that. All right. Rigatoni, the Rigetti Computing Company. We're long a January 10/25 bull call spread. So we're long the Jan 10 calls. We're short the 25 calls. Doing a lot of bull call spreads here. You notice that? Anyway, we're raising the stop to 10. I don't want to see Rigetti get back below 10. That would mean that it broke this 50-period moving average, which it's been kind of holding since we got in. I don't want to see it break the 50-period moving average. So 10 is my line in the sand. If we break below 10, I'll look to exit the trade and salvage whatever is left in it. Corteva, CTVA. This thing also has had a nice run since we got in. We basically haven't taken any heat in this trade yet, but I'm going to raise my stop to 67.50. I don't want to see it get back below 67.50. If it does, that would be a bearish development in my eyes, and I won't want to be in the trade anymore. Next up is Groupon. Groupon, this is one of those trades that I don't want to jinx it, but it has the potential to be one of our best trades of the year. And we broke our rules to get into this trade. You may recall we technically could have stopped out right in this area here on May 5th, May 6th, because we did see a close below our stop at that time. But on this date, we made the decision, you know what? We got earnings coming up. We've already lost most of the value of these calls at that time. We couldn't really lose much more. And I told everybody in the chat room, and I wrote a piece about it, letting you know that I'm breaking my rules here. I got nothing much. I don't have much more to lose from here. Might as well stick it through earnings and see if we can get lucky. And sure enough, we did. And boy, was that a great decision. We sold half of our calls according to our plan, as we wanted to. We wanted to sell half at a double. We did that on May 9th, and now we're still riding the rest. And boy, oh boy, this is turning out to be a great trade. I'm raising my stop now to 25. That kind of corresponds with the low of this high flag consolidation, as well as the rising 50-period moving average. Both of those things give me confidence that that's a level I'd like to see hold. So 25 is the new stop loss level in Groupon. We talked about ASTS, how it's going our way, but I did not talk about how I'm raising my stop now to 32. That would be just below that level where we had a little breakaway gap from. So 32 is the new stop in ASTS. And finally, Coin. Wow, what a move in Coin yesterday. They got some good news, some good regulatory news. Sent the stock ripping in the midday. We're long July 300 calls, so better late than never. I mean, boy, we've been waiting for something like this because we're starting to run out of time. In about 2 weeks here, we're going to start really tightening up our stop on this thing. But if it does get to 300, and boy, we almost kissed 300. I mean, we kissed 300, but we didn't quite get there. If and when we break 300, I'm going to sell half of my position for whatever I can get, mostly because we're running up against the clock here. These are July calls. They have what, 28 days expiration or something like that. So there's a lot of premium in that that's going to start eroding very quickly in the coming weeks. So if we get above 300, I'm going to sell half, and I'm going to keep the other half to see what can happen. I mean, this kind of move right here that we saw yesterday, this doesn't feel to me like a one-off move. We could see a lot of follow through. In fact, it wouldn't even surprise me to see Coin break back above 350. This summer, certainly, but hopefully before July expiration. That would be amazing. But we're raising our stop to 250 now in Coin, okay, which basically corresponds with the lows this week. All right, so new stop 250 for Coin. All right, that's all I got for updated stops. All these updated stops, or most of them, are positions that are going our way, which is great. Last up, let's just talk about some of the new trades we put on. We just had 2 new trades since we last spoke. The first one is in Lemonade. This is a bullish bet in Lemonade. By the way, guys, if you don't know, I don't put the details of these trades on the chart just yet. If you want to get the full trade plan of how we're managing this position, where we're taking profits, where we may be stopping out, why we like the setup, and what trade setup we're even using, all those details can be found at allstarcharts.com. Head to the options, head to the members section, head to the options section, and you'll find all the detailed trade plans. So Lemonade, we got long Lemonade. I mean, what a better stock for summer, right? Could there be a better named stock for summertime? We're hoping for a summertime rally, and if we get a summertime rally in Lemonade, that just feels perfect to me. So we're bullish on Lemonade, and we're bearish on General Mills. We got into General Mills yesterday. This stock just can't get out of its own way. It's been riding the 50-period moving average. It bounced pretty noticeably off the 50-period moving average here earlier this week, or end of last week. I put this bearish bet on, A, because I'm bearish the stock, but B, for me, it's nice, it's some portfolio diversification in case the stock market does decide to roll over here for whatever reason, geopolitics probably being the biggest potential risk. I'd like to have some short exposure and some weak names, and General Mills fits the bill. So we are short General Mills. Okay, guys, that's all I got for you here. Let me just bring up the old updated stops. There are a bunch of them today. So if you need to take a screenshot, please do. There they are. And as always, if you have any questions about anything that we've discussed here, you can email me at info@allstarcharts.com. Feel free to email me there. It'll get routed to me. If you'd like to subscribe to All Star Options, there's your link. We have a free options newsletter I write just about every day. Lots of anecdotes about options trading and trader stuff, right? Stuff that hits home for everybody who's an active trader. And if you like my charts, TrendSpider.com is offering 50% off subscriptions to TrendSpider subscriptions using my promo code Sean50. I also have the links in the YouTube chat, so if you want to just click the links there, it's easier. And I'd appreciate it if you did. All right, folks, enjoy your day off from trading today. Maybe get some work done around the house. I'm going to go for a hike with my family. Make the best of it. We'll be back tomorrow. We'll be trading tomorrow. It's gonna be, I think it's gonna be a weird day. Who knows? One of those weird days in between a holiday. But if you take the day off tomorrow, good for you. Enjoy the long weekend. We'll be back on Monday. Until then, take care.